the president most is he hates to lose. Have you noticed that? And I tell people that's a great American quality. Americans aren't a bunch of wimpy, sissy losers. Americans are winners. I think some people say it's in our DNA. You know, the folks who started this place, they came here because in Europe they said, "Oh, you got to practice your faith a certain way," and they said, "No, we don't. We're willing to get on a ship, risk it all, and go to this place called America, where we have the freedom to practice our faith the way we think the good Lord wants us to, and also chase down our goals and dreams." That's just an American attitude. President Trump has that off the chart. And that is so good. I mean, what he's went through. I mean, think about these three cases. You talk about political. I mean, Alvin Bragg said he could not envision, first he campaigns on going after President Trump, then he gets in office, sees how ridiculous this case is, and he actually says, "I cannot envision a world where I would prosecute President Trump and call Michael Cohen as a witness." And then he does just that after President Trump announced he was running for president. Fonnie Willis starts her investigation here in your state back in February 21, but she doesn't bring an indictment against President Trump and 19 other people until after he announces he's running for office, running for president again. And of course, Merrick Garland doesn't appoint Jack Smith until 3 days after President Trump announces he's running for president. Total political. And they've been out to get this guy because they know he's fighting for us, for we the people. 2016, they spied on his campaign. Then it was Mueller, $30 million, 19 lawyers, 41 FBI going after President Trump to find nothing, no collusion, none whatsoever. Then it was impeachment. Then they raid his home. Then it's the 14th Amendment. Then it's Jack Smith. And then it's the Alvin Bragg. I mean, on and on it goes. The thing I keep asking is, what are they going to try next? We're less than 5 months till election. What are they going to try? There's going to be something. So, I just love his attitude. If you remember what happened a week ago when they got this crazy verdict in New York, it reminded me of a year and a half ago when we were all watching, actually a little more than a year and a half ago, August, year and a half ago, a little more than a year and a half ago, when we were watching them raid his home. I don't know if you were, but Polly and I, we're at home, and we're just standing out on our deck, looking at the TV, and we're like, we couldn't, like most Americans, can't believe this is happening in the greatest country ever. And they're going through his house, and they got the windbreakers with FBI on their back, and you're like, this is crazy. So I told Polly, I said, I'm just going to call him. I'm just going to call him up. So I call him, and he answers, and he doesn't even say hello. He just goes, "Jim, this is the best thing that's ever happened to our party." He goes, "My numbers are going to go up." Amazing attitude. Very few human beings could withstand what he's had to endure and have that kind of positive attitude. And he does it. He has a great line. You've all been, I'm sure, to rallies and things. Brian and I've been to several of them as Mike and Burgess. But he has a great line. He says, "They're coming after me because I'm fighting for you." We were in Iowa with him during the caucuses, like 21 below zero, so it was stinking cold. And we were at this rally. Thank goodness it was indoors. We're at this rally, and he changed it. He says, "They're coming after my freedom because I'm fighting for yours." And I told him after, I said, I like it when you say it that way even better, because that's what's at stake here. It's really we can recover from all the stupid things they're doing. When you think about in 3 years and like 100 and some odd days of Joe Biden being president, we went from a secure border to no border, safe streets to record crime, $2 gas to $4 gas, and went from stable prices to record inflation. We went from a president and President Trump who projected strength as the leader and as the commander-in-chief to Joe Biden, right? But what scares me more than anything is how they have weaponized these agencies against we the people, the very people they're supposed to serve. And what scares me the most is what they're trying to do to the First Amendment. You think about it. Every single liberty we enjoy as Americans under the First Amendment has been assaulted by the Biden administration. Every single one. You have 5 rights under the First Amendment. Your right to practice your faith, your right to assemble like we're doing right now, your right to petition the government, free press, free speech. They've attacked all 5. They told Americans during COVID, you couldn't go to church on Sunday. In America, that's the very first thing mentioned in the First Amendment. Your right to assemble. I tell this story. 2 years ago, I spoke to the New Mexico Republican Party in Amarillo, Texas. Because they had to go to Texas to get the freedom to assemble because their crazy Democrat governor wouldn't let them do it in their own state where they pay taxes.
Wow.
You want to petition your member of Congress to redress your grievances? You want to talk to your member of Congress? Up until we took over the House a year and a half ago, up until then, you had to do it at home. Because Nancy Pelosi wouldn't let you in your own capital that you pay for, your capital. Free press, Jen Psaki, this is probably almost 2 years ago.
Circle back.
Jen Psaki's given the press briefing from the press room in the White House. Now think about it. The White House is considered the center of freedom on the planet. The president's the most important official on the planet. And his press spokesperson in the press room, in the White House, talking to the press, says these two sentences. Most Americans now get their news from social media platforms. We, the Biden administration, are working with those platforms to limit the information you see. And I'm literally sitting in our office, we had some staff in there, and we just happened to have the briefing on. And she said that, I looked at our staff, I'm like, did the press woman just say in the press room that she's for limiting the press?
Yep.
This is crazy. But the most important right we have, more important than anything else, is our right to talk, our right to speak. Because if you can't speak, you can't practice your faith, you can't share your faith, you can't petition your government, you don't have a free press. And that's the one they're coming after, censoring your speech, limiting what you can say, what you can post, what you can tweet, what you can see, what you can read. That is frightening. That is what is truly at stake in this election, and it's why we got to make sure President Trump wins. And it's why we got to have people like Brian Jack in the United States Congress. I'll just say one last thing. Again, thank you all for what you do, for, like I say, for taking the risk, for getting in the game. What would Teddy Roosevelt said? It's in the arena where it all happens. A lot of folks can hang out on the sideline, lob the cheap shots, call you names, all that, but you get in the game to help a good guy win, to help President Trump win, you're going to take some hits, but thank you for doing that. Our charge is real simple. I don't think it's actually a scripture verse in my judgment. My favorite scripture verse, 2 Timothy 4:7. Paul's the old guy giving advice to the young guy Timothy. And he says what? Fight the good fight, finish the course, keep the faith. And I tell folks, I love that verse because of the action in it. It's not a wimpy, sissy verse. Americans aren't timid people. Americans are Americans. Americans know it's about fighting, it's about finishing, it's about keeping faith with the principles that made us the best country ever. And understand this, Holly and I've traveled to Israel 5 times. When you go over there, doesn't matter who you talk to, people in the government, people in the IDF, business people, doesn't matter who you talk to, they all say this. They say the best way your country can help our country, the best way America can help Israel is for America to stay strong. When you're strong, we're better. And the truth is this, when America leads, the whole world's better. The whole world's better. And right now it's not happening. That's what's at stake, and it's really an attitude that's always been there until, I think, frankly, this administration. Certainly an attitude President Trump embodies that scripture verse. Fight, finish, keep. That is our charge. We do that. We're going to have President Trump in the White House. You're going to be represented by a great man in the United States Congress. We're going to keep the House. We're going to keep the Senate. And we're going to get this country back on track, which is good for everybody on this planet. God bless you all.